Hey there, and yet again, let's see, some Seagrams here and wild berries, and yeah, don't judge me, it's a bitch drink, but I got to do some reviews today, and I want to kind of be sober for this. So, as always, as I said with my Regal app, just these movies pop up out of nowhere, no kind of promotion, no kind of trailer, and well, a few weeks back, I seen a trailer for this film called 3,000 Years of Longing, and it stars Tilda Swinton and the man himself, Idris Elba. It was directed by this man named George Miller. If you don't know who George Miller is, the guy's a legend for all the right reasons. Okay, if you don't know the name, I'm sure you have to know some of his movies. He only made this little franchise called Mad Max, and not that long ago he did Mad Max Fury Road, and a classic which one day I hope to review it. It's The Witches of Eastwick, and love that movie. So did I like it? Was it any good? They tried to say this was a modern day Aladdin, and I wouldn't say it's a modern day Aladdin. And well, let me start drinking this and give you my thoughts on 3,000 years of Idris Elba being a genie. I don't care. That's some good street Seagrams. So, okay, what's going on? What's this film about? Is it a modern day Aladdin? I would not say at all this is a modern day Aladdin, but I would say this movie, for me, was a fucking fantastic time. And Idris Elba, well,
I am aware of the effect I have on women.
He's Idris Elba. I jokingly, but also admit to this, that if Idris Elba made a film where just it's him sitting down for 90 minutes reading a dictionary, I'm going to go see it because the man's awesome.
He is so awesome.
Now, he plays a character called, well, simple, Jinn. I mean, he's, instead of calling him the genie, he's Jinn. And, it doesn't always work that a black guy could be a genie. But in this case, it does work. Sorry, I'll Will Smith him just.
Okay, fuck that guy. He's a dick.
Sorry, I have to crack on Will Smith because after the whole slap and anyway, that guy. But so Tilda Swinton, because she's playing Alethea, I keep thinking that's the right name, but she's a doctor and she believes in modernism. She believes in science, and these questions do get raised that people deal with nowadays of like fantasy versus realism, about science, about lore, about our faith. Remember, there was a point where every time it would be a thunderstorm, it's we're angering the gods, we're angering Zeus and Thor. And well, it's not that we're angering the gods, it's atmospheric pressure. It's rain droplets in the clouds and stuff. There was a point that people would ask that whenever the seasons would change, it was angering or upsetting the gods. Later on, it's like, no, the earth is on its axis around the sun, and it's changing the pressure and stuff, and the heat waves around the earth. So she does get to meet this Jinn, and it does raise this question initially, like, well, is she seeing this thing? Is it real? Is she hallucinating? Or what the hell's going on? Now what do I do? Because like most genies, there's rules. You can't just like wish for like immortality. You can't wish for endless wishes. You have to do certain things. Now, she's skeptical, as a lot of people are, because
No story about wishing that is not a cautionary tale.
We all have desires.
she's an interesting character in the sense that, everybody has desires. We have wishes. We have things that we want. Well, she doesn't.
But why?
But him as a character, the Jinn, of course, Idris as it is, and I'm jumping around here, sorry. But Idris as it is, he makes the movie. I mean, every single scene that he's on screen, he just owns it and shit. But the trailers may talk about it being her story.
But it is your story, and I cannot wait to see where it goes.
And I would disagree that this is mostly, I'd say, 95% his story. A good, I'm not sure, hour and 10 minutes, it's all about his backstory. You may see it in the trailer that, he's wearing this robe and stuff because he appears in her hotel room, and it's just constant backstory of, like, basically 3,000 years. What he's gone through, his trials, his tribulations, his hopes, his fears, and, the rules of being a Jinn, and just different historical figures that he's seen, and just different ways that he's been inside this bottle. And for the most part, almost like, the Aladdin film, well, let's go with the first cartoon with Robin Williams, but The Curse of Being a Genie, because this character, this Jinn, he's a prisoner, he's trapped, and for the most part, like many creatures of this mythology, he just wants to escape and just have freedom, and just he's tired of being tied down after thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I mean, he does like humanity, he does care about people, but like some of the stuff he goes through, I won't spoil it for you.
No spoilers.
Yeah, so it's like, eventually she changes her mind about certain things, and she wants to make some wishes, and it's very it's something that you're not going to see coming, which to me is a good thing.
I have a wish.
Is this a modern day Aladdin? I wouldn't say by any means, because having the character of Alethea saying she's like Aladdin is just no. The only similar theme to the Jinn versus the genie is just that as I said, these guys have rules. They want to escape. They're tired of being prisoners, and that's about it. So George Miller, as a director, obviously there's CGI being used, and he's always known for his practical effects with the whole Mad Max series. But when it comes to genies and magic and stuff, you have to use some CGI. And I'm telling you one thing right now, some CGI is bad, some CGI is good. The way George Miller uses the CGI, it's fucking fantastic. The cinematography is great, whether it's like little specks and stuff you see on the screen, little snowflakes, little specks of ash. The way they use the magic is not cheap by any means. It looks very visceral. I loved every second of it. And yeah, George Miller, I gotta say this, the man is pushing 80 years old and he's still pumping out movies like this. So for George, fucking have a drink.
Have a drink.
Yes, this is my lazy review, but you know what? I'm still gonna think that his film later on down the road, that people will consider this a classic. I think already it's a classic. It's gotta go in my top 5 movies of 2022. And you know, I know that it's not going to work for everybody. You know, this is a season of Top Gun Maverick and stuff, and we still have Avatar coming out. This isn't a film for everybody. I would say this is more definitely artsy. It's more like The Lighthouse. It's more like The Northman. And as much as I enjoyed the Lighthouse and The Northman, I also understood the fact that, you know, The Northman compared to 300 is not a comparison. Because like The Northman wouldn't work for a lot of people because it's not the same pacing. This it has pacing where it's like, you know, a good hour and some change goes along and it's nothing but dialogue. But as I've said, dialogue can work, you know, either for a film or against a film.
We've had some very good dialogue.
But also it's the performances. It's Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. And again, this is his story.
One that is sad and lonely and depressing.
People always assume like, oh my God, being a djinn, it's so fun. It's unlimited power. It's this great blessing. And not always. For this character, by all means, when you see the stuff he's been through over the past few millennia,
Holy shit.
trust me when I say his powers, it's not a gift, it's a fucking curse. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to spoil it because, you know, I feel like this point in time, movies that we love, we don't spoil. Movies or TV shows that we hate, we do spoil. And this one, I loved it. And I would definitely look forward to seeing this again and talking about this in more detail at a later time. So, but it's just my quick lazy review. I had a blast. I hope you will too. If you missed out in the theaters, I think this is definitely worth something buying and something watching later again.
I loved it!
Okay, checking my watch as always, and finish my Seagrams, make another video, and you guys know the spiel. You know what's going to happen. Give me 1 second.
This calls for a drink.
Not bad berries, but I'm going back to work.